Howdy folks, welcome back to 50 Nautical Mile Arc. We are in Canada today in the Twin Otter with a Canadian livery, and it is very cold. Real world weather is turned on, so while it's clear skies, it's kind of snowy on the ground, and according to the weather, 20,000 feet up there's some light snow, although it looks pretty clear from here, but I guess that's how the sim represents it. So anyway, it is snowy, snow on the ground. The temperature is insanely cold at a negative 34. So you can look on the OAT up there, and it's really represented. So we're going to use de-ice today, anti-ice, and we're going to see how the cold air affects this plane. I've never flown this thing in such cold weather, but obviously they do in real life. And this is not the updated version of the aircraft. I bring that up because while I record this, the release of the next complete version of this aircraft is imminent, and this is the RWDesigns Twin Otter. It is my favorite Twin Otter available. However, knowing there's an update and seeing what updates can do for an airplane, this is very dated, but I'm still going to fly it. I'm not going to stop flying it while I wait for an update, but I want to bring that up because by the time you see this recording, the update may have been released. I've been checking every day for the update, just waiting for it, and there's a lot that's going to happen to update. The model is completely rebuilt from the ground up. Things that didn't work before are going to work. New options are going to be available. Of course, PBR and all that stuff. Interior livery is going to change as well as the outside. That's kind of a new thing with X-Plane 11 with the better aircraft, is when the livery outside changes, the decor and colors inside also change. So to me, that's like the new standard. But anyway, it's early morning. It's like 7:30 in the morning or whatever. So you can see that the sun is kind of rising. It's kind of up high already. I've been stalling. I had to reset my presets for this thing. But otherwise, we've flown this before. I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's just a Twin Otter. But I wanted to talk about that update thing because it's a pretty big deal. And I'm waiting for it. I'm going to be the first in line to buy it when it's released. And then I'll be flying it around and showing it off. But we just have to be patient. So anyway, where are we? We are in Canada. Like I said, we're going to fly over Great Slave Lake today. We're currently in Hay River, Charlie Yankee, Hotel Yankee, the Merlyn Carter Airport in the Hay River, Northwest Territories, Canada. And we're going to fly across the lake and land in Yellowknife, of course, Charlie Yankee, Zulu, Foxtrot, also Northwestern Territories, Canada. We're going to do a VOR approach. So we're going to get there using GPS, but then we're going to do the VOR approach. I found what I think is a VOR approach. I found this PDF online with every Canadian airport and all the approaches. It's kind of scarce though. It doesn't give me much of anything. It just says the VORs in the center of the airport. You tune it in, and I'm just going to use the airport elevation of 658 feet and the heading of the runway. We're going to land on runway 33, by the way, so that's 334 degrees. We're going to approach the VOR at 334 and then go visual when we can. Kind of like we do in Princess Juliana. So, similar, except way colder. But that's what we're going to do. That's how I plan on doing this. Like I said, I don't see anything about like altitudes or anything. So, I am not sure what we're going to do about that. I guess we'll just remember the airport is 658. Add some altitude to that and our distance. We should have DME on the GPS because I'll put the airport in. That'll get us our DME, and we'll just calculate altitude, I guess. I don't know. I haven't practiced this flight. I don't typically practice flights anymore because part of this YouTube channel, and what makes me different, is I am not a professional simmer by any means, and I'm just learning this with you and discovering things with you and sharing them with you as I learn them. So that's why I don't practice. I want to practice with you. That's kind of the point of this channel. So that is why. And I also end up showing people new things and teaching them new things. I get comments all the time saying, hey, I did not know that, and I've been simming for 20 years. I'm like, I don't know it either. We'll learn together, discover together. Everybody gets something different out of every video, so thank you for watching and subscribing, and please subscribe if you haven't. And I went off on a big tangent. Let's get back to what we're trying to do, and let's get this thing started before we freeze our self. Had a conversation about frostbite with the kids this morning. It was like 10 below at the bus stop. All right, anyway, what are we doing? I already have some stuff turned on inside, like lights and things, although lights are not modeled in the cabin of this thing. I'm hoping they are in the... Well, they are modeled in that if it's dark, it's all lit up. You don't see the lights or anything turn on, but it is lit up if it were dark. But I'm hoping the lights are modeled in the next version. I guess I'll have to find out when you do. Anyway, there's no GPU in this, so we are using DC power already. We need to set our weight and fuel. I wrote down how far away this is, and I forgot what it is. So let's just go to a 2-hour flight time. If it's longer than 2 hours, then this video won't be online. So the flight time is less than 2 hours because you're watching this. All right, here we go. Let's turn on some lighting up above. So I already have the cabin lights turned on. No smoking, fasten the seatbelt. That's already turned on. Entrance lighting is turned on, but we need to turn on our beacon. Where is this thing? There's that one, but there it is. Strobe. Turn that one on. Let's turn this on as well since we are going to be starting the engines. I'm just refamiliarizing myself with this. It has been a really long time. Longer than I realized. Let's turn that on too, because we can. I already turned on the cockpit lightings and the co-pilot lighting. Turn on the GPS now. In this aircraft, at least according to the checklist that came with aircraft, we will turn on avionics before we start the engines. That is different per aircraft. A lot of aircraft, you cannot turn on your avionics till the engines are already set, or else it just won't have enough power and it can damage stuff. So anyway, we're going to turn this on now. Where's the on button on this thing? Why can't I remember this? Isn't it that one? There we go. Turn on all these things, and might as well turn this on too, although we're not going to be doing any ATC, but there it is. All right, here we go. What are we doing? We're going to do the flight plan now. Small flight plan, not a big deal, but we are going to get something in there. Oh, I can't. There's no scroll wheel in this one. Every GPS is a little different. All right, so I go this way. There we go. So we're starting there. We are going to put in... What are we going to put in for this? We're just going to put in the airport, I guess. And then we'll just tune in the VOR. So let's just put in the airport. Super simple, super basic. How do I do this without scroll wheel? Okay, that's not so bad. I'll figure this out. And there we go. We got it. So we'll do that. We'll go direct there. Pretty simple. 105 nautical miles. That's a very short flight. Piece of cake. But let's get our VOR tuned now, just because I want to be looking around in the sky and I don't have a co-pilot to help me. So let's tune in the VOR for the airport now. 115.5. Push that to switch that. And then... let's see, there's 5 and 115. 115.5, double check. 115.5, we'll put that up there. And when we do approach it, when we do pick it up, we want to be approaching at 334. So let's do, whoop, yeah, that's right. 330. Well, wait a second. I can't see that far. All right. So there we go. 334 is right there because that's 330, 35, 40, 45, 50, 50, and 60. Okay. There you go. Man, oh man. Okay. And yeah, we're going to take off on runway 32 so that we're directing the wind. The wind is like 328 degrees, or at 328 degrees, like 14 knots or something. So we'll use a similar runway to take off. All right, back to the checklist. We already got flight plan, radios, oh, barometer, because we're using real world weather. What do we got? What do we got? Click there, click here. 3041 on the altimeter. Again, can't see. I need a huge monitor. I need a bigger monitor. 30. Did I say 3041? Okay. I'm going to double check that because I've never had one that high before. 3040. 246850. So there's 41 right there. Let's double check that. 3041 it is. And 3041. Okay. We're going to test our Kasha lights. I found a way to test that. Although I don't think we can really see. Yes, we can. Let's do this. Go all the way up to test. And then here. There we go. That works. I never used that before, but hopefully we see none of those. But that's our test. That's where we're going to test that. And then we go up to dim, which is really strange. Okay. All right, now we're going to close our doors. So if I remember my presets, we have my pilot door here. If we find the right spot, co-pilot doors over here. And we'll close the rear doors now. Everybody should be boarded. There's a click spot right in the middle. Awesome. And we'll come out here, remove our static elements. We don't have static elements with this aircraft. Why do I have that on my checklist? We don't have any static elements. Alright, let's get this party started. Fuel boost. I think it goes down to go up. Yeah, off is on. I remember that. Alright, power levels to idle. Means I gotta reset everything because of my yoke stuff. I actually did that before I started recording. Both igniters. Do both of them for some reason, but that's what we're gonna do. Flick engine start to left engine to start it. No, we need a fuel forward. We need to do this first. Well, let's do the left one first. There you go. Now we can flick it left. And it should start if it did everything right. And with this version, it's not the newest update, but it is an update from before. Remember, we do get to hear engine sounds at Feather, which is nice. But is not the newest update yet. Prop RPM. Let's get some prop RPM going. Props are spinning. And it's smoking. Smoking good, but I don't see any prop RPM. Okay. Not sure. I've not flown this in 11.11, by the way, X-Plane, so we might run into some interesting situations that we're not expecting. But anyway, we'll just figure it out together, like usual, like I already described. Start the right engine now, in the right click spot. There we go. And we'll just hop outside to make sure everything's running, and it is. Very nice. I love the puffs of smoke. I've never noticed that before. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way. Oh, you know what that is? That's the snow and ice going across the wings, I think. See that? I think that's what that is. Okay. Anyway, come all the way up here. Generators. You have to do reset and then on, I think. Reset and then on. And this version, reset and then on. There we go. De-ice. Yes, we're doing everything today. Everything, I think. Stab the ice. That's not doing anything. Okay. I hope I'm not breaking stuff. Oh, there we go. Left stab, right stab. I don't know how that works. Wing inner, outer, slow, fast. I don't know. We'll just keep it on auto and see how this works. If we crash, I did it wrong. If we don't crash, I did something right, or it's not modeled. I'm not sure either way. Alright, taxi light on. How come I can't remember where the taxi light is? There it is, right in front of my face. Pitot heat on. Bleed air on. Left and right. Oh, look, the stabby ice is doing its thing. Nice, it lights up when it goes back and forth. Okay. Make sure all warnings and cautions are out. They are. Nice, I actually didn't expect that to happen. Set up autopilot. Set up autopilot. Where is our altitude? There it is. Found it. It's over here. We're going to cruise at a nice, let's see, 105. Let's do a nice 14,000 today. And autopilot, let's see, we're not going to do GPS. Or should we do GPS? Let's do GPS. Let's just do nav. Do I hit Alt now? Oh my gosh, why can't I remember? I can't remember. Nav arm, then MDA is minimum descent altitude. We'll worry about that later. Nav is armed, okay. Alt alert, I assume alt alert will come up. It's not going to just keep us at ground, right? Because if you hit alt too soon in some aircraft on autopilot, you just your current altitude. But there's a set altitude. We'll figure that out too. Alrighty. Engage, disengage. Okay, well, we'll leave that like that. Alright, flaps down, and then start to taxi. No, let's taxi first. Alright, we should be ready to go, I guess. It's a pretty simple aircraft. Let's do props. Is there a taxi on this, or is it just all the way forward? Ooh, the sound changes in this aircraft. How nice. Our prop RPM is coming up. Alright. Let's taxi. We're just going to head left. And then go to runway 32, I believe it was. Not sure if there's a whole lot to look at. Those little hangars look like ice houses. And ice houses where you go ice fishing. If you're not in that type of climate. But even though I'm in Minnesota, it's negative 34. We see this here in Minnesota. It's not that way today. It's like negative 10 today. But anyway, I love the trees. Looks like pine trees. Looks appropriate for the area. It looks very cold and barren right now, which is very appropriate and realistic. Now, it did say in the weather setup that the runway is damp. So that should cause some issue when I take off. I should have to be extra careful and extra mindful of my rudder control. And this, let's see, is this a runway out here? Let me look at the map. Or maybe this is just another turn first. Well, this is the runway like it should be. Alright. And there's a river leading to the lake. Very nice. So we're just going to head out here and do a U-turn, and I'll meet you at the end of the runway. And here we go. Let's get lined up right on the runway, right about there. That's good enough. And stop and set the parking brake. Looks like it's set. So what are we going to do now? We're going to hop inside. We're going to do flaps down. Let's do flaps 10 only. I'm not too worried about runway length. Turn off all the cabin lights. So these get turned off. That gets turned off. That's already armed. There we go. And like I said, the lights themselves don't do anything, but notice it's darker now. So the cabin itself just lights up and not lights up or whatever. Alrighty, so what are we doing? Taxi lights can come off now, which are here. Landing lights come on, which are in a different spot here. They should come on together, and they do. And then igniters, I think, I don't know if they should stay on or not. Should we turn them off, see what happens? Okay, good. Those should have come off sooner then. And start the clock. Oh yeah, the clock's over here in this one. So we'll do mode. We'll start is here. There we go, and we are ready to take off. Alright, so here we go. Parking brake off, props already forward. We'll just ease the throttles forward here. We have plenty of runway. Autopilot is set to GPS. I have to push that actually. There we go. Autopilot is now set to GPS. And away we go. Oh yeah, I do feel that is a little damp. Oh yeah, that's cool. Rotate, I'm not paying any attention. Fixed gear. Let's start getting flaps up because we're going pretty fast for flaps. And there we go. And let's engage autopilot. There we go. Oh yeah, how do we do our vertical though? Wait a second, let's cancel a second. There should be an IES hold or something, right? There it is. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do, what should we want to do? IES indicated airspeed. Let's slow down a little bit. And let's do IES hold 100 and engage autopilot now. That should keep us at 100. And nav is engaged. There we go. Excellent. Good. And alt is in there. It'll just cruise to 14,000. Follow GPS. When it gets to 14,000, it'll speed up. Do not have to worry about engine management. You won't start on fire. You can keep everything full forward all the time and you'll be fine. So there we go. Simple as that. Let's have some looks outside. There we go. There's the lake right there. Let's take a screenshot of that right away. And the way we're going, we should see land to the left at some point. It's not going to be... Well, let's stop those wheels from spinning. There we go. We are not going to see water the entire flight. We should see some land on the left, but we will not see land on the right. But otherwise... What? Are those contrails because of the cold? Because we're not on fire. No, it shouldn't be on fire anyway. Otherwise, I did do some research about Yellowknife, our destination. This is version 4 mesh, by the way. Yellowknife is a big destination area for people, and one of the fun things to see there are the houseboats. And by houseboats, I mean a literal house on pontoons. And they just get in their houseboat, and they go places. And literally. You can look it up, I'm not kidding. Otherwise, it's kind of a cool area. Very cold. I think that's why we have our contrails already, or whatever they're called. That's not an engine fire. If it was an engine fire, we'd be shut down, but we're not, so. Alright, anyway, that's all I had to say about Yellowknife. Sorry I don't know more. If you're from the area and want to leave comments below, please do. I love learning from people because I can do research online, but there's no substitute for comments and conversation with people who are actually there. You can't get that from internet research. So anyway, we're just gonna have some sightseeing, and as we get closer, I'll check our GPS and calculate our descent. Looks like we have an hour and 3-minute flight time at this speed. That'll go down. That will go down once we get closer, and I think I will use the VNav. I forgot about VNav on this aircraft. I think I'll use that to get us in a general altitude, and then I'll fine-tune as we pick up the VOR and all that good stuff. So, I don't know why I'm so distracted. Probably because this was super easy. Unlike our previous flight, which was a disaster. Not a disaster, just very difficult. So anyway, that is it. I'm going to manage the aircraft. I'm going to set up some sightseeing views for you all. We're going to have some nice background music this time. And I'll catch you at top of descent. did a bunch of stuff off camera. First of all, I turned off your landing lights at 10,000 feet. Whoa, negative 58 degrees. Negative 55 degrees. Wow. Anyway, I turned off our landing lights. I realized I had to hit Alt Alert to hold our altitude. So I hit it a little late. So we're a little above 14,000, but that's okay. Even though it says 14,000 over here, but whatever. I set our V calculator, and it's already time to descend. In fact, we're way behind schedule because I was busy sightseeing with you all. So let's set this down to, whoops, 1,500, I think. Let's go down to 1,000. And then we are going to come over here, hit MDA. Right? Why are we going up? Let's not go up. Let's go back over to autopilot, hit IAS. Right? MDA is supposed to get us, there we go, so it won't go below. But I want to go faster because that's going up. So let's figure this out. Oh, autopilot came off because they bumped the trim. I don't know. I guess we're going to fly by hand a little bit. And then when I get to IAS to what I want it to be, then I'll re-engage autopilot. How about that? How about that? Let's not churn. Alright, so let's see. MDA is still set. MDA will also engage autopilot, by the way, if it's not engaged. If you hit your MDA, it'll engage autopilot. Alright, so let's get this thing descending at a fast pace here. Also going to take us forever. Nav is still set, so as soon as we get to the speed I want, we will re-engage autopilot. Alright, so let's engage autopilot. Don't level us off, though. This should keep us back on course, and we should descend. No, when I bring throttles back, it shouldn't slow down. It should keep 120, but it should descend. Because over here I have IAS pushed in. So it's supposed to hold 120. And then the throttles would increase or decrease descent rate. Oh well, we do see land below us though. A little hazy, but there's land down there. So I told you we'd see land. And then it'll be open water again. And then we will land at our airport. So where are we at? What are we doing here? We're at 12,000 feet. I'm going to turn on landing lights now so you don't have to worry about it. Let's get the barometer of our destination airport, which is over here. Let's click on that quickly. 3031. Let's zoom in on here so my tired eyes can see 3031. That's 30, 32, 3031. What else do we need for landing checklist? Gears and flaps, obviously it's way too early. We haven't even picked up the VOR yet. So, see, now it's gonna descend at 100 knots. I don't want it to descend at 100 knots. I want it to descend at 120. Anyway, I'll figure out autopilot offline. I'm going to quit talking about it for now. But anyway, let's enjoy the scenery we do have, which isn't much, but there's land down there. Let's enjoy this and catch you in a little bit. Alright, I got autopilot to work. I didn't do anything differently. Nothing. But all of a sudden, now it's holding at 120, and I can control my descent rate based on my throttle, which is exactly what you're supposed to be able to do. And like I said, I didn't do anything different. It just started working. So I don't know what in the world happened. But now we have to recalculate what we're doing. We have to be a little steeper than 800. But that's okay. So I'm just going to keep doing this here. There's 800 feet per minute. There, we want to go about 900 right now. So bring back throttles just a little bit. So there, yeah, see, it's holding at 120. And I'm descending now at 900. Weird. I can't explain it. I just know that we have plenty of fuel, plenty of flight left. And I'll catch you once we pick up this VOR, which should be pretty soon, I hope. Alright, everything is going good. Autopilot has been holding exactly right. So I'm not sure what I was doing wrong before, but it's working now, just as I remember. So now we're going to come over here. We're going to switch this to V-lock so we can pick up the VOR. And the airplane should turn towards the VOR without touching anything else. Why is it turning left and it should be turning right? If I have to step in and use the heading bug, I will. Is it going to do it for us? No, it isn't. So let's hit heading on autopilot and go pretty sharp to the right. So I want to make sure we have a nice long approach. And then once we get closer to intercepting this, I'll go back to nav. And I know it's going to be nav because this is set to V-lock. So we're actually going to come out here a little bit and then come in at the right angle. So I just want to have a nice sharp turn so that we can actually pick it up. And I did change this, by the way. In the beginning of the video, I'll change my course here. But I actually meant to change this. And something screwed up my course, by the way. That should also be 334, like that. In fact, now we can see better that we want to intercept it. Let's just go like this, and then we'll hit a 40-degree angle to intercept it. But so I set this off camera. This reset itself twice, whatever. There, our VOR is pointing there. I'm going to try something super fast. If I push this... Okay, that does stay. So anyway, our airport is just up there, past the landfall. Alright, we do have to descend more steeply. Our VSR is over 1,000. Sorry for the weird edit, but I have a sick child at home who startled me. Woke up, I didn't expect it. So let's increase our rate of descent dramatically. Not that dramatically, but we're pointing at the VOR. That's starting to move. That should move soon, and then once it does, I'll go from heading hold back over to nav. What is this trying to tell me here? And that's coming down nicely, so we'll increase rate of descent in a moment, or decrease our rate of descent in a moment. Landing lights already on. Too early for gear, too early for flaps. Have some quick views over the water. Great Slave Lake. Some views there. And let's do a quick view outside. Looks like when you're in the air, you can see both sets of land. There, and an island, and back there. And there's land back there too. So pretty cool. That's just some bays though. The big part of the lake is over there, which you obviously can't see across. Alrighty, we should probably decrease our rate of descent now. Let's have a look. Oh, just about. Yep. Okay, let's go back to 800 by increasing the throttle slightly. It'll hold us at 120. And as the VOR gets more and more to the left, we should intercept the VOR as soon as it gets a little past it, because that would be more north and we're a little bit less of north, so we'll see. It should work. We're pretty close though. So we need to be careful. Alright, it's starting to move. Look, it's starting to move. So as it gets a little bit closer, I will engage nav again on the autopilot because nav is on V-lock on the GPS. So nav will do the VOR or the radios. Hopefully it works. Let's actually go now. Let's see if it actually does it. I might be too steep of an angle for it to pick it up. So let's use, yeah. Let's use heading bug. Decrease your angle of attack, and then I'll use nav. And then keeping an eye on our altitude. What are we at? 5,000. Where were we? 5,200. We are ahead of schedule. So let's increase that. Now let's hit. Actually, let's even decrease angle of attack even more. And decrease our descent rate. We are flying, I mean, we are going to land visually. I just want to use some instruments to get there and get a straight approach. Winds, let's see what our winds and everything. Winds are 310 at 10, yeah, so runway 32 or 33 is as close as we're going to get. Oh, no, altimeter changed, 3031, no, it didn't. Alright, now let's hit nav, and it should turn us. It should turn us so that we can, nope, why isn't it turning us? I tell ya, what is going on with autopilot? We gotta do it ourselves using heading bug. At least heading bug is working. Now we gotta go past it. Ooh, and it got dark. What happened? Sun changed, I guess. Do we really need to use a heading bug to keep our VOR lined up? Why isn't it lining up on nav? I mean, I've got the right radio, obviously, because we can see it here. V-lock is on, which means it's supposed to use the nav, right? Not GPS. Because if I change that to GPS, it'll really screw us up. It'll go straight back to here. I don't want to use GPS right now. I guess what I could do, I have an idea. A workaround, which is kind of silly, but I have an idea. Let's do this. Okay, that's about lined up now. So let's bring this back. Like so. And now that we're lined up, let's go over here. We can go direct to the airport now. Let's go direct like that. There we go. And then do CDI and then do nav. And now it'll keep us GPS lined up. Straight with the runway. I see the runway in sight. We'll just have to do it that way. What's our say? Oh yeah, we're ahead of schedule. Not by much though. Yes, we are. Let's decrease the rate of descent. Alrighty, I don't want it. I wanted to use it the correct way. Autopilot, but whatever. Whatever gets us around it. I had a weird thing with IAS. Took forever. Started working. I couldn't get nav to use the radio, only GPS, so we'll just use nav on the GPS. Whatever. Not sure what's going on. Now we just have to watch our vertical speed and our altitude, and we are all set. A few quick looks outside, and we're going to start slowing this thing down and bring it in for a landing. Like I said, runway is in sight. There it is. So we'll just go with that. Alright, everything is looking good, but we're going to break free from autopilot and turn off MDA, because even with autopilot disengaged, if MDA is turned on, it will engage autopilot and prevent us from descending below our assigned altitude. So we don't want that to happen. So it is windy, but not terribly bad. Let's start slowing down a little bit and increasing our rate of descent. Props forward. Mixture's been rich the whole time. And this approach is pretty much how I expect it to be. No more sightseeing now because I need to land the plane. And we all know my biggest issue is when I start to sightsee and then we blow the approach, which means the landing isn't great. So here we go. As I turn left, it's getting windier. So we'll see how this goes. Keeping our descent at a moderate pace. We got one red now on the Pappy, which is good. I want to keep our speed up though. We don't need to slow down yet. Keeping our speed up. Pitch for speed, which means I increase throttle so our rate of descent doesn't increase. Pitch for speed, throttle for descent rate. Oh, there's some more gusts. See how this goes. Doesn't seem like we have too much of a crosswind. Yeah, a little bit from the left maybe. Yeah, just a little from the left. Not much. Not much at all, but we'll still try to do a crosswind landing. Wind is coming from the left, so you want to do the left wing down, right rudder, and left main first. And because of the wind and the patchy runway, wet runway, we want a firm landing. You do not want to grease a landing when it's windy and less than ideal runway conditions. In simulators, people always want to grease every landing, and if you talk to a real-life pilot, or especially a real-life instructor, greased landings are usually not the safest landings. They feel good, and they give you braking rights, but they're not necessarily the safest. When you have crosswinds, high winds, and less than ideal runway conditions, you do not want to grease your landing. You want to plant it firm. Not hard, but firm. There's nothing wrong with a firm landing, even when conditions are ideal. All right, we got to decrease rate of descent dramatically here. I just want to check that wind one more time, see if it's as much as I think it is. Yeah, just a little crosswind from the left. Okay. Alrighty, throttle's coming back a little bit because we really need to decrease our descent rate. There's some gusts there that made us balloon. Plus, when I put flaps out in a moment, we're gonna balloon like crazy too. We'll also lose a lot of speed. I have to round out because I have no flaps out yet. Alright, let's get flaps out as soon as we hit that white arc. We're not going to go too much flap because that'll just make it more difficult to land, and we don't need the flaps. We have a very long runway. We have reversers, so we do not want too much flap. There's 2 and 2. Let's do 10 flap for now, increase throttle a little bit. In fact, do we even want to go 20? I don't think we're even going to do 20 flap. I think we're going to keep it right here. Well, let's do 20. That can slow down more. We're definitely not doing 30 flap. Alright, let's go left here, because the wind is really blowing us to the right. Alright, let's see. Aim for those numbers. Round out. We will flare in this aircraft, but not too soon. Left wing down. And I will right rudder in a moment. Right rudder, too soon. I'm floating now. Left wing down, right rudder, left main first. Come on, left main. There we go. Excellent. About a 200 foot per minute drop, which is nice and firm, but not too firm. Flaps coming in. And wow, we're really getting blown around. Let's get back center here. That was crazy. Those reversers are so good. We stopped. Oh my. It's trying to... Oh, the wind, the gust. You see that gust pick us up? Look at that. Oh man, these winds are insane. It keeps lifting the nose up. No flaps. And it keeps lifting up the nose. Wow. I'm like full right rudder. I'm trying to get to the center. This is nuts. Wow, look at that. Look what happened when I let go of rudder. Look what happens. Wow. And of course, watching the video, I'm making it look not as terrible as it actually is right now. Alright, let's try to taxi this thing. Oh my gosh, we gotta slow down and taxi this. We're gonna have a lot of problems here. Alrighty, let's get some landing lights off here. And we can turn on some cabin lights. Where are they? I'm trying not to. And taxi lights. And look out where we're going. Oh good, I didn't run into anything. The wind is still blowing us around. Wow. Let's try to head over here safely. Oh, what was our flight time? I didn't stop the clock in time. 63 minutes. I think that is the long... Where's the stop on here? I think that's like the longest flight I've done in ages. Oh my gosh. We're just getting blown everywhere. This is crazy. There we go. I guess some of it could be part of X-Plane's ground handling issues, but I don't think so. Maybe it is. Maybe that's ground handling. But either way, it's very difficult. Well, that's dirt. I thought that was just like brown pavement. That's dirt. Let's go around it here. There we go. Look out, buddy. Don't you see this big plane coming at you? Alright, let's bring the props back to feather. Whoa. And we'll stop right about here. Just like that. Set the parking brake. Come up, oh, this one, and kill the fuel. What else can we do? Tax lights can come off now. Pitot heat. That can stay off. That can come off. That can come off. That can come off. That can come off. This can all come off. Everything basically can come off. We will keep DC on so we can have lights out there. That's already off. That's there. Look at that. Negative 34. Jeez. What else? This can all come off now. This can that. And that can stay. That'll stay on. Let's hop back here. Open up our main door. See, our cabin lights are still on. Well, it's hard to tell. It's just hard to tell. Otherwise, oh yeah, is that supposed to be like a Corvette? You're in my way, buddy. You are in my way. Avionics can come off. Yeah, I know you want to see the airplane, but that really isn't the way to do it. Okay. That's not the way to do it, you guys. Okay, what else can we do here? Let's turn off the rest of our radios. If I can remember which one it is. That one. That one. This one? There we go. And this one. No. There we go. Wait, why won't you turn off? There. Okay. Anything else we can do? No, that's a pretty complete shutdown. We have lights on because I have the battery, or the battery and DC turned on, but we can turn off lights like so. It's just really hard to get the right direction in this airplane. There we go. Up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left. Whoa. Hey, mind your P's and Q's there, buddy. Let's shut that door before someone hits us. Alright, let's hop outside. Alright, so thank you for flying with us today across Great Slave Lake. We had some autopilot issues twice. Once with managing our descent, which started to work, and then I never did get the autopilot to lock onto that VOR. I had to reset GPS and use GPS, but that was fine. Our landing wasn't terrible, considering we had crosswinds and it's cold and patchy runway, which does make a huge difference, but we did okay. There's a decent crosswind landing. The ground handling after was tough with all that wind blowing us around, but that's okay. We made it safe and sound, and next we're going to Cuba again. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you on the next one.